This is called the Night Games of Siena, and from what we've learned about this piece, it was intended to be performed as a kind of evening's entertainment. We don't know if they were intended necessarily to be performed all as a concert in a sense, or if they were just something written down as a way you might spend an evening.
I wanted to do a madrigal comedy. I'm not sure where that idea got in my head, but I decided I wanted to do something like that. And so I started researching it, and I came across Orazio Vecchi's name. And there is this one edition of the Veglie di Siena, which actually was translated into English as Night Games of Siena. And I thought, oh, that's a cool title. And so I took it out and I started looking at it, and it just was fascinating.
The ideal way to stage it would be to have 6 singers sitting around a table with wine. And it's Vecchi's last published book of music from 1604, the year before he died. And it's a book in which Vecchi is doing at least 2 different things. He's casting an eye backward to a tradition that was based in Siena. Game nights, these parties that would involve essentially conversational games, games in which the players would display their wit, their learning, their humor through conversation in a somewhat structured way, which is essentially what the Renaissance conception of a game was.
This was published in 1604, so it's right on the cusp of this new movement in music, which was led, at least retrospectively, by Claudio Monteverdi, where they're starting to break all the rules of polyphony that had been set up so carefully. And they're starting to throw in these dissonances, and they're starting to throw in these chromaticisms.
Brindes, brindes, yo, yo, yo. Centis qua, yo, yo, yo. Centis qua, yo, 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 yo. There we go. That's right. We didn't do the first time.
When we think about music history, our conception of it tends to be so bounded by a certain tradition that starts sort of with Bach and Handel, and then there's this long run up to today. And to pretend that the history of music is something that started 200, maybe 300 years ago and goes up to now, there was a long time when that kind of worked because we had the classical tradition. And I think now nobody wants to cling to that old conception in the same way. And we want to say, no, modern music, that is contemporary music today, is just as important. And if we're going to broaden our scope in that way, we also have to broaden it backwards and go back to the 16th century and the 15th and 14th and 13th centuries, because all of that music has as much to say to us as anything from the 17th, 18th, or 19th centuries.
I think we need more recordings of these period madrigals. There are some, but a lot of the recordings really cover the same ground, you know. Monteverdi madrigals are great. Everyone should sing them, everyone should record them. But they've been recorded, and it's nice to hear someone else's ideas.
And it's just really, really, really great music, I think. I think it all comes down to that. It's great music that people will want to listen to.